Hi, my name is Alex, and the goal of this video is to hopefully help you avoid a $1,000 mistake, or in my case, closer to a $2,000 mistake with a Cardo Packtalk Edgephone system. Let me explain. If you're not familiar with these systems, this is the Cardo Edge. And the cool thing about it is that it's a communication device that you can transfer from the Edge phones to your dirt bike helmet, to your snowmobile helmet, to your street bike helmet, or in my case, to all of those. So I purchased the Duo Pack with two of those Cardo Edge phones, and the idea was that this little device is then transferred to my snowmobile, to my dirt bike, to my street bike helmets. So, and actually I also have half helmets for the side-by-side in states where I'm required to wear a DOT helmet. So all in all, the system and 8 of those second helmet adapters adds up real quick, close to 2 grand. Now, in theory, it sounded like a great solution instead of buying an in-car system that gets hardwired into the side-by-side, and then you have to have different systems for all your other communication needs. So I thought, wow, great idea. I've had great luck with Senna in the past. That's another great brand. And I thought I'd give Cardo a try. I did use it this winter with snowmobiles, and these guys worked just fine with the snowmobiles. I did have a problem with one of the the wired microphones going bad, so I had to replace that. But all in all, it worked fine at reasonable distances. So last week we were in Moab, and on the third day of using the Packtalk Edge phones, I felt something that was getting kind of painful because basically it started poking me in the head. I wasn't wearing a hat, and so there was, obviously there's no way you can impact it from the inside as it's resting against your head, and I was not wearing a hat. But what I discovered is that at full extension, if you look at the system, basically this part that extends all the way out slides into this pocket, and there's a retention pin so that it doesn't completely slide out. Well, the pocket is about 1.5 inches in length, and the extension comes out to about 1.25 inches. So essentially you have about 1/4 inch of material that's left with the pin. And if you take a closer look, guess where it cracked? And it literally just shattered in there. It broke this piece. The tape residue I'll explain, because once I figured out that this cracked, I literally went into my med kit and picked up some tape to basically tape it together so this cracked plastic would stop scratching me in the head. In my opinion, it's a very poor design. Having the pin, like literally there's less than 1/4 inch of material that the headset is holding on to, and that's really what caused the stress. Again, I was not wearing a hat, but I do have a relatively, I guess, large head. I wear a size 7.5 hat. I think there's only 2 other sizes that are bigger. I think they go to like 7 3/4. But bottom line is, even if you don't have a larger head, larger body, if you put this this headset over a hat, there's a good chance they're going to have to go to full extension, and then the retention pin is literally right there. This part obviously cracked, but if I flip it around, I don't know if it's going to come out in the video, but there's actually a crack that is starting to form right here. So this part is on its way to cracking as well, depending on if you can see it from the lighting. Bottom line, if you have one of these and they haven't cracked yet, my advice would be take electrical tape or take something and just take this whole entire section and just run tape up and down this to give it some strength. To add insult to injury, when I called Cardo and sent him pictures and everything and showed him what happened with the brittle plastic just falling apart and this cracking, they essentially told me to kick rocks. So make your own conclusions about Cardo customer service, but this, replacing this $150 piece, they weren't willing to do that. So realistically, am I going to go buy another one of these pieces? No, I'm not. this is substandard. If you're trying to use it for off-road, I think it's a mistake. I think, they came into the market trying to compete with rugged radios and some of the other product offerings. I know Senna also had a kit. In retrospect, I would have much rather gone with Senna than with the Cardo. But realistically, I'm just going to buy, tried and true rugged radio off-road headphones and use those. Now, since I'm already, invested into the Cardo Edge system, I am probably still going to use these for my dirt bike and street bike helmets because obviously all the helmets are all set up, and that was a fairly expensive proposition to get all the helmets set up. But all in all, customer service is pathetic, and the product itself, it's the way I look at it. If this was literally just sitting on my head and it cracked like this because of the pressure that's being put on that pin, it's a retention pin, so it doesn't slide all the way out. This is not something I would recommend to anyone. I would stay away. I definitely go with something else if you're in a Jeep or a side by side or any kind of off road vehicle. They're marketed as an off road solution. Um, definitely wouldn't recommend it. The duo pack is $1,000, and obviously if you then add all the second helmet adapters to be able to move the Packtalk Edge from the headphones to different helmets. Like I said, you can get up close to $2,000 in expenses, and it's just it didn't cut it. I mean, this happened on day 3, so you know your decision. I can tell you that in my case, this was not a good purchase. I would definitely definitely look for something else if you're looking for a solution for your side by side. This is not it. But like I said, if you're already invested in it like I did, I think it's just a matter of time. I would tape it up with electrical tape. I know it's going to look hokey, but you're out already a bunch of money like I was, and try and make the best you can out of it. Thanks for watching the video. Take care.